Hey guys, Ranch and PDPOP commentary. This is going to be the second set between Calm and Hydra in the PDPOP MSL quarterfinals. I do apologize, this is coming in a little bit late, but life is a busy biscuit. It's going to be on Triathlon. At the 12 o'clock position, 12 o'clock position in brown. Of course, Zerg going to have Calm at the 8 o'clock position in yellow or orange, I believe. Okay, they changed the colors on me. Great, thank you. That means that the 12 o'clock position in yellow is actually going to be Calm, and at the 8 o'clock position in red is going to be Hydra. And it's going to be a triathlon, 3-player map. The map that has stuck around for a while. Always one MSL map that just kind of sticks around like a cockroach. 35, 36, 37. I think it's a surprise for maybe quite a few, but Hydra is 1-0 ahead after an impressive game in the first half, and I think coming into this, most people would have expected Calm to take this out. Calm has very nice ZVZ skills, and just because of the way he plays his playstyle, he ends up often outplaying his opponents because he can pretty much match anybody when it comes to macro and micro as Zerg, even players like Jaedong. Although Jaedong is capable of doing certain things with Mutalisks that very few other people can actually pull off. True, which is a fact. But still, if he plays up against any player that he can match micro and macro wise, which is most Zergs out there, he can kind of just beat them through thinking, through strategy, fake them out, get a positional advantage just by placement, things like that. They call him the brain Zerg for a friggin' reason. And that's like one of the reasons how he, for instance, beat Jaedong in the, what was that, Arena MSL? I think it was the Arena MSL. I cast that freaking thing. I should remember the Arena MSL in the semifinals. Then he beat, nobody expected him to beat Quanro in the finals there. Of course, that was EVZ, and he really showed his skill in that game. But Hydra has himself really impressed me, not just with this play, but just overall play. I've watched a couple of games of his in Pro League, and some of the players he has beaten, it's overall impressed me. His play style is really come out of nowhere. I mean, somehow in Zerg, the less original your nickname is, the more you suck, but obviously that's not the way with Hydra. So both players going to go for an expansions at their safe bases, playing very safe right now. Central was in the wrong location, so they think, you know what, I'm just going to play safe. Both players going for those overpulls into those new bases, going for layers right off the bat. After that, builds pretty much absolutely mirroring each other. So this is going to be a situation where it's just going to come down to the macro management, how well you play, and what you do with what you have. It's just going to come down to macro, micro, and decision making, which, you know, you might say, hey, those help. Those are pretty much the factors all the time. But sometimes builds do factor in. Sometimes one build gives a bit of an advantage over another build. It should not be the case here. It's all going to come down to what you do with what you have. Calm keeping one Zergling on top of the ramp there while sending a second one out just to scout, because it's both players sent their initial overlords to the lower right-hand corner, so it's just going to take them all to get those scouts out there. But at the very least, actually on the opposite side, Hydra's doing exactly the same thing. I'm going to see some Zerglings meeting each other, maybe. It's just going to try to get some Zerglings on the ramps to deny Zergling scouts, force those overlords to be the ones that scout. Natural expansions are going to be coming up right here. Hydra's build is a second behind, but that really should not be too big of a factor in this case. I'm not going to be seeing any transfer drones, it seems. Just, you know, pop drones yourself. Spires coming up. I assume that we're going to be seeing that exactly the same thing on the opposite side. Just both Spires just going to play very safe, try to get their economy up, try to get up to Mutalisks, try to get a decent Muta count, decent Scourge count. That's going to be a big factor, whether you're going to go for Scourge or heavy Muta, or have a few Scourge, or just skip Scourge altogether. Usually we do see at least a few Scourge being built. But it's just going to come down to what you decide to do. Are you going to use them for traps? Are you just going to use them to barrel in? Are you going to use them in conjunction with your Mutalisks? But many different methods of using. It's kind of like, I don't really know. Yeah, basically just kill all aerial units, suicide bombs. And very important, because if you lose a lot of Scourge, you're going to come. If your Scourge do not hit, if the other player micros against them, that's a lot of gas that's just lost. and you're not going to be able to utilize, and you're going to be behind. So it's going to be very important how to use that. No still aggressive actions from either of these players. Seems like Hydra wants to test the waters here a little bit. Going to go on top of this ramp. Seems a little bit of a zergling advantage, maybe by one, but I think with that defensive makeup, he's not really going to be able to do too much. Still going to test the waters here a little bit. Might try and put in a little bit of pressure, a little bit of micromanaging coming in here. I'm not quite sure whether he should be trying to break through. I think he should just retreat at this point. Losing a few minutes, I think he might have only killed one, if any. So their engagement didn't really come ahead for Hydra. Let's just hope that Calm does not take that as an advantage to get some speed and just go in and try to barrel into Hydra's defense. He's going to be forced to use a bit of his cash for a couple extra zerglings, unless I think he's actually coming out with his mutas now, so mutas and a few zerglings on the ground should be enough to defend that ramp. Doesn't seem like he actually has any defenses on the ramp at the moment. Gas starting to pop in there. Second extractor is out there for Calm, so he's getting plenty of murals out there. I think he already popped 5. I see a little bit of a blip there. The little left in position. I think that might be an Overlord near Hydra's base is kind of odd. He also has his own murals out there. Might go out there to try to save the Overlord, but I think he might actually go for an aggressive maneuver right out of the gates. Overlord is doomed. There's no way he's going to save that. Might just to go out there. Going to clear out those zerglings right now, along with his own zerglings to help, just to make sure that nothing threatens him back home. Seems like he's just going to play it a little bit defensive. That was a little bit of an opening to maybe try to go and harass a little bit, but you know, what's the point of going out harassing, do a little bit of harassment, then your own base is open to the Mutalisks, although they might actually force the Mutalisks to come back home, but the Zerglings might have gone in and picked up a couple of drones, and that's not really what you want to do. You want to be able to be clear, have a lot of minions in there. Seems like Hydra's actually going to, both players seem like they're just going to use Scourge alongside the Mutalisks, because of course if you have a large number of Mutalisks, you can kind of just hide the Scourge among them, and you can't really see them, so when you go, you keep clicking and attack. Mutalisks fly at the same speed, then you just kind of... Just as they come in close, the Scourge just kind of fly out from the Mutalisks. This kind of looks like as if the Mutalisks just spat the Scourge at you. It's like, surprise! I did not want that for my birthday! Hydra using one single Scourge to scout. Scouting out, seeing, hey, wait a minute, we're doing the exact same thing! Holy crap! If that is indeed, see a little yellow blotch in Hydra's lower left-hand base, if it is the Overlord, Hydra just go ahead and pick that off, because he's already lost an Overlord, and that's pretty much the only advantage that had happened this entire game. Finally there, he's going to spot actually an Overlord. Ooh, nice, picking up an Overlord right at Calm's base, just being aggressive there. Was up. Not using any Scourge on that, just doing a great job. Both players already have quite a few Mutalisks, quite a few Scourge flying around. Calm's also going to use one of his own Scourge to scout near bases. Nice little trap there laid by Hydra. Hitting with quite a few of his Scourge and also picking off some of his enemy's Scourge with his Mutalisks. Very nice maneuver there. And that's going to leave Hydra a little bit open to pick off some of these drones. That's a big advantage right there. Some more Scourge going to come in. Nice micro there from Hydra. Doing a great job over there. Picked off. I don't think he's... Might have one Scourge might have hit there, but I don't think overall he's being hit by quite many Scourge at all. Calm has lost quite a bit. They're losing an Overlord first, but then taking a lot of fire from those Scourge. Taking a lot of damage. And then not managing to counter that with his own damage. It was very nice play there from Hydra. Seems like he might just, if he just rides this out, he might take a big advantage in this game. Just has to keep on playing aggressive. There's a lot of Overlords just waiting to be picked off, and any Overlords that die from Calm is going to be very bad here. Go in, one more shot on that, but seems like Calm's going to play defensive. Hydra coming in here with some Scourge to support as well. Picking off one of those Scourge, trying to pick off as many of those Scourge before he comes in close. Now we're going to be being hit by some of the Scourge a little bit, but also doing a lot of damage to those Mutalisks. Now going to pick up some more drones. Might go for Overlords. There'll be a few Scourge coming in from Calm, trying to hit those Mutalisks. Just going to be a huge out battle right here. Some Scourge flying in for Hydra's going to try to force these Mutalisks of Calm's back. And I'm not even sure on the Muta counts right now, but some Scourge coming up from Calm as well. Hydra coming in with a few reinforcements. On the opposite side, we do see Calm actually sending in a couple of Zerglings trying to do a little bit of harassment. This shows that he's in not the best of position, so he needs to use some of his extra ground force to try to do a little bit of damage. So it's just going to be Muta on Muta right here, and it seems like Hydra's coming out ahead. I'm not all too sure. Some little bit of damage being done back in Hydra's base, and Hydra's still with a lot of Mutalisks flying around, picking off the drones now, losing some back home, but finally he also has attention on that main on his, and finally doing a little bit of damage. Some Scourge coming up for Calm. Don't really see any Mutalisks out there anymore. Beautiful micromanagement from Hydra. No Scourge, no Mutas, so Calm just GG's. 2-0 for Hydra right now, and Calm almost seems to have a bit of a sinister smile out there. Crap, kind of like one of those things. Nice game there from Hydra, picking up a little bit of an advantage and just eking that out. Beautiful play. One little maneuver and just riding that for the victory. So one game ahead. One game away, and he will get himself to the semifinals. So we're going to see what happens there. GG, guys. Ranching out. This is listening. Hope you enjoyed.